Hey guys, welcome back to Punishing Grey Raven. In today's video, I'm going to try and give you guys all the basic info that you need to know for the game. Sort of like a FAQ type thing of all the questions that I keep seeing in the comments, trying to get them all out of the way. Now, I will leave timestamps. It'll probably be like shredded cheese with all the timestamps in there, but you can go down and check the questions that I'm going to be answering and see if there's anything you really want to know in case you're not keen on everything. So the first thing we need to know is the basics of the game. Action RPG, gotcha game. That is the basics. I'm hoping everyone knows that. If you didn't, now you do. So into the sort of FAQ side. So first up, is there a PC client? No, there is no PC client for the game yet. However, it does run very well on emulators. You got BlueStacks, you got LD Player, Nox, Mimu, I can never say that one. I can't remember what it is. But you can run it fairly well on emulators, and you can do keybinds on them. If I change screens over to here, you should be able to see that if I turn my opacity up on these, over on BlueStacks, you can see that I've got my keybinds down the bottom there. Now, the thing with this game is most action RPGs I love playing on PC and on emulators if they don't have a PC client. However, due to the way the combat works in this one with all the orbs, you sort of need your basic attack, your dodge, your ultimate ability, your character swaps, but then you need 8 other keybinds. As you can see, I've only gone up to 5 here. But you need 8 other keybinds ideally to be able to click all the different orbs. And for me personally, you might be different. As all the orbs start dropping, my brain has a hard time going, okay, I click that keybind to get that orb. It's going to collapse to there and then I know where it is. I am personally going to play this game on phone because it's just a lot easier for me to compute in my head. Like I said, it could be easy for you, but there is the option to play it on PC on emulators, but no, there is no dedicated PC client, which yes, I do believe personally will hurt the game. Its exposure around general gamers and stuff like that, it may turn some people away, but for now, the best we can do is play it on emulator if you want to play it on PC. Moving on from that, can you play with a controller? Yes, you can. You can play through BlueStacks and emulators with controller, or I believe the game does have its own controller support, but once again, I find the game would be way too hard to play with a controller for the keybinds that you would have to use, so I'm not going to do it, but it is available. As for how to do it, I haven't even been fussed to try and set it up, but I just know that you can. If I find a good guide on that, I'll end up adding it into the description of this video to let you guys figure out how to do it if you're desperate to play it with a controller. Next up is a very common question I've been seeing, and that is phone specs required. So if I go over here to the pre-registration website, which you guys can go to as well, you'll see down here it's got the operating system iOS 10.0, Android 8.1 or higher, 3 gig of RAM, and 4 gig of read-only. So that's your specs there. They say it may not work on everything, but that's the general guide that you're looking for if your phone is going to be able to play the game. And as for file size, at launch, or at least from the beta, it's about 2.11 gig. So around that 2 gig mark, which isn't horrible, it's actually pretty manageable. So that is what the file size is going to be of the game. Next up, is there PvP in the game? At this stage, no, not even on the Chinese version, which is much older than this one. There is no PvP that has yet been brought to the game. I don't know if they have plans to make PvP. It's just a PvE game at this stage. Me personally, I'm a big fan of PvP formats because they often add a lot of replayability to the game when you're out of stamina and stuff like that. But for now, that's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people are just glad it doesn't have PvP, but hey, for now, no PvP, whether you like it or not. Next up, are there guilds? No, there aren't guilds in the game at launch. However, on the other versions, about 6-ish months in an update, they did put guilds in. So not too sure when they will put guilds in on global, but once we do find that out, I will let you guys know. But no guilds at the very start, but anticipate that they will come in the future. After that, is there co-op in the game? Yes, there is co-op. There is 3-man co-op where you go in and fight bosses. So I'll just jump over here and show you guys. If we go to event, and we go over here, it is time gated at the moment. Not too sure on the times. I have seen it open a couple times on the beta, but I haven't been able to get in with anyone, so I haven't actually been able to play it on the beta. But there is co-op 3-man boss fights in the game that will be available at launch. So yeah, you can look forward to some co-op. Is the game free to play? Now, this is a loaded question, and it's going to depend on a few things. In general, if I had to say just yes or no, I would say yes. However, we have to see how they plan to roll out banners. Now, on the other versions, and I will do a whole video on the free-to-play side of things, especially if we can get a roadmap on what they're planning to do with the game, and also once I see, the packs and sort of what the advantage you get is. But at the moment, on the other versions, it's very free to play. Free to play players can save up all their black cards and quite freely go to pity on every banner, as long as you save up those extra black cards you get in between. So you do get enough from your dailies and weeklies, plus all the other little bits of black card income you get to go to the 60 pity on the summons. So in that sense, yes, very free to play friendly. On top of that, it is a PvE game, so there's no competition. There's nothing you really like. Yes, there is some ladders and stuff that you want to be top of, but in general, it's a game that's really easy to enjoy free to play. How long does the daily routine take? So in your first sort of week or so of playing the game, you'll be able to play it a lot. Like I'm talking like 4, 5, 6 hours a day, because you're generating enough stamina to keep going. Once you get into this settled point, sort of where I am at level 48 now, basically it takes me, now this is a bit different because some of the features aren't fully engaged yet, but I'm going to say around 15 to 20 minutes one time per day to do all your dailies and burn all your stamina. Then about 5 minutes at the end of the day to burn the rest of your stamina, and you should be pretty good to get most of the things done in around that time frame. You could probably do it quicker. If you're having fun doing other stuff, you could play it for longer. But around, the half an hour investment per day, once you're in like the steady grind of the game, is going to be what you'll comfortably get away with. Next up is the question I see, is it like a main game or a side game? I feel like for me, it's probably going to be a good side game due to the fact that, like I said, you are going to get stamina capped pretty quick in this game, where you can see I've got 69 stamina. It takes 30 stamina to do a gear run. So I can pretty much burn a full thing of stamina of my 140 stamina in about 4 minutes, just doing the resource run. So it's really quick. You burn it fast. There is, stages that you can repeat on test modes and stuff like that, where if we go over here and we go to challenge and we go to trial zones, like you can spend forever trialing these bosses and stuff like that. So there is replayability in that, but you're not actually getting working towards anything by doing this. So you can play it as a main game and really hone in on your skills and stuff like that. But for a lot of people, I do think it is more of a side game where it'll be maintaining your account, which doesn't take too long, which is really nice to get through just, your dailies and stuff like that. But then as new events, new bosses, stuff like that come around, you'll play it really actively, and then you go back to a bit more casual, side game stuff, and then you'll get real active. So nice little cycle like that. But yeah, you can play it as a main game if you want. But like I said, if you do want to play it as a side game, you're not having to overinvest your time if you don't want to. The next one I've seen a bit from a few people is, why is there multiple copies of each character and what are their names? Because the names, when you go to details, do look a bit funny. Like this one says 0 and stuff like that. So basically every character, or most of the characters, are going to have at least two versions. For instance, her S rank's not in. She is a base A rank, but I did upgrade her with dupes. But for instance, we have Liv here, and you can see this one is Benediction. And sometimes in their skills, it will refer to this name, but this is Liv Benediction. This is the B rank base one, but then we do have over here an A rank and an S rank version of Liv as well. So same character, but different version with different skills and all that stuff. That does happen. Moving on from that, it comes into, like I touched on, do duplicates matter? Yes, they do. You can upgrade your characters with duplicates. If we go over here and we go into evolve, you'll see we have this. You're going to get extra stats, and once you fill in all these points on the microchip, you are going to be able to upgrade their class. So as you can see, this one, each node here is going to cost me 3. So to go from S to SS, it's going to cost me 10 rounds of that 3, which is 30. So the basic way that dupes work is going to be that a B rank dupe gives you 6 shards, an A rank dupe gives you 18 shards, and then an S rank is going to give you 30 shards. And to go from B to A is 10, A to S is 20, S to SS is 30, SS to triple S is going to be 90, and then triple S to triple S plus is going to be 180. And now what do those dupes give you? Once again, obviously we have the stats and the increase from actually increasing them, and then we do also get skill increases here. So if you look at this ability, it's locked. I do get that when I get to SS, I get this one when I go to triple S, and then I get this one when I go to triple S plus. So there are advantages from getting your characters up there. Now, how do you get shards? Obviously, you can get them from pulling dupes. Past that, we also get some from here. If we go to the Phantom Pain Cage, we can go over here and we can go to the shop. And you can see here that there are shards here. Now we can get shards for most characters, but you do have to have the characters obtained to be able to go ahead and get their shards. That is the only catch. If you don't have the character, you cannot purchase their shards from there. And then on top of that, if we go back out and we go to, if we go over here to the main story mode and then we go to interlude, you will see that there are all of these characters only up to the A ranks, and Bianca being the last one that you can actually farm shards for. So if we go here and we go to switch, so you can go, it normally starts in story and you go to switch to challenge, and you can do this and you can get shards from that. However, it is a bit expensive. I don't know why the cost isn't showing. I think it's like 20 or 30 cost to do these. So they're a bit expensive, so I wouldn't be farming all of them. For me, I'm probably just going to farm Bianca. I might farm Liv as well, I'm not too sure, but it is very expensive and I'd rather be farming gear, but you can get shards through that as well. Next up we have, is there rerolling in the game? Yes, there is rerolling. There's one reroll that probably takes you 20 minutes and there's another one that takes you 3 days. So rerolling in this game I don't think is really worth it. We're all going to get a ticket in our item in our inventory at launch, which is going to be select S rank hero. So we're all going to get an S rank. You do get the S rank at the 40 pity on the beginning banner. So by the time you hit that 40 pity, you're going to have 2 of the 5 available S ranks. Now I know some people are going to want to reroll. I will do a full reroll guide going over it, but in general, it's not recommended to reroll because it's more of a hassle than it's really worth. And finally, we get into the tier list discussion. Now, if I have missed any questions and you have more questions, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer the questions in the comments. And if we get enough, I will do another version of this video, but I'm hoping that we've covered most of the questions in this one. But is there a tier list? So this game, yes, I think there is reason to have a tier list because some characters are better than others. However, it's more of a priority list than a set tier list because characters have different roles and different purposes, so it's hard to rank them against each other in that specific reason. Plus, there's going to be things like different element type damage dealers that are going to be, you know, the best in that element type team, like a sort of a fire damage team, a lightning damage team, a physical damage team. There's going to be characters that are better in one of those teams, but you're going to want to build them all because some of the bosses have weaknesses against different elements. So that's why there's not just a set tier list of this is the best character, build them, they are a must. Something like Alpha, which should be the first banner character, is going to be really strong, but it's like, it depends on what you're fighting against and what you're using it for. So I don't have a tier list. I don't feel I have a knowledge to make a solid tier list for the game at the moment, but I feel like I know basic priorities for heroes to make different types of teams, whether it be a campaign team and then different boss teams. So we will do videos covering that sort of stuff in the future, but for now I just feel like a tier list is too hazy on what is actually going to be in a tier list for this game. So hopefully that covers up the tier list thing, because I know everyone loves seeing a tier list. We may do them in the future, but as always, tier lists must be taken with a grain of salt. But anyway guys, that is going to conclude our FAQ session. Like I said, any more questions, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If you're an experienced player from one of the other versions, feel free to answer some comments as well. But thanks for watching guys. Hope you have an awesome day and I'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.